So, back in November, I presented at the Gaming, Learning, and Libraries Symposium, and Chris Harris and Brian Mayer and myself decided to do something a little fun on one of the days. We started out with the idea of a session on why Board Games Pwn, P-W-N, and it sort of expanded from there, and it became the Late Night Library Show, a talk show parody. So as part of that, I did little segments here, a Stephen Colbert-style threat down news report on invasion of the Euros. So I'm going to show that to you now. If you want to see all of this presentation, the URL will be at the end of my short clip, and the whole presentation is about an hour, and go through what we did, acting like silly people. The audio is not that great because we didn't have a microphone, so it's just a little microphone on the video camera. But if you turn it up, you can still hear what's going on. So with that, take it away, Scott.
What? Uh-oh! What's going on?
I'm here with a special report.
In the 21st century, invasion of the Euros. We have a horrible thing coming across. There's a little history I'll share with you. It all started in World War II. What happened then after the war, the Germans stopped making military toys. While the Americans, of course, made great war games, the Germans were busy making games that used things like trading and negotiation and all sorts of ways of being clever, not just blowing things up. So what happened? They put out all sorts of little games like Hare and Tortoise, a game about moving forward on a racetrack and eating carrots. Scotland Yard, a game where you're trying to find Mr. X. Adelver Klischtet, which is a game about trying to make big art collections. And the Settlers of Catan, these horrible things have invaded our shore. The Euros, they're everywhere, and you must watch out for them. Here's what we've done during that time. Monopoly, who's with me? Yeah! And of course, we got tired of that, so we made Monopoly. Who's with me? I love Monopoly! And then, of course, Monopoly, here and now, credit card edition. Who's with me? Yeah! That's right, we got better. But you know, we kept going with that. Catopoly?
For the librarian in your life.
Farmopoly. Winopoly. Chocolateopoly. Kissopoly. Pornopoly. And of course, if you don't find what you're liking, make your own opoly. That is American development in action. But you know, we also came up with some games to fight off these hideous Euros. Acquire, a classic game by Sid Sackson about taking stocks and grabbing terrain on a map. Civilization, a game about conquering each other through trade of cards and clever negotiation. Magic Realm, put out by Avalon Hill, one of the first fantasy games which inspired many more things like Talisman. Cosmic Encounters, one of the first games to have different player powers. Each player could break the rules in different ways. And Dune, a game set in the world of spice. Very clever game this. We Americans, we know what we do, but we also know what we do well. We do games about combat. Axis and Allies, for example. Who likes Axis and Allies? There we go, that's an American. So we have to watch out. Now there's a current battleground that's going on. On one side you've got Fortress America, establishing American-style games. Games rich in theme and thick in rules. And then you have the Game of the Year, the German Award, which has brought about games that are elegant, that are clever. And this is a battle. We have the current armies in that battle, the Ameritrash at Fortress Ameritrash versus those weenies over at Board Game Geek. Ameritrash versus Eurogames. That is the current battle in the world of board games. Now you have these enthusiastic people on Board Game Geek who are putting up, well, come and play these games because they're wonderful. Agricola is the top-rated game of all time, only followed up by Puerto Rico, Power Grid, Twilight Struggle, Tyrannus and Euphrates. These games all are clever, but they're all very abstract. There's not dripping with theme, there's not a lot of dice in them. They're just,
I like my dice.
We need lots of dice here because we're Americans. Now you've got to watch out. They've come up with these things called gateway games.
Protect your children.
They're like gateway drugs, but more expensive. For example, in Ticket to Ride, you're putting down trains trying to connect across the USA. That sounds all lovely and all American, but it's a Euro through and through. Beware, they've invaded our shores. Carcassonne. That even sounds French, doesn't it? Those French. Let's all practice our French now on the count of 3. Very good. That's what we do to this game. We see someone says, want to play Carcassonne? And I say, take it away. Let us play Monopoly, for that is a real game. In Carcassonne, you're creating cities, and you're creating towns, and you're building roads, and you're putting little tiles down. It's like a puzzle, but you don't want to play.
Do I get to blow them up?
You do not get to blow them up. You're going for victory points. Not victory, victory points. Settlers of Catan, how many of you have seen this game? Yes, what are you clapping? What are you clapping? This fighting for here? You trade. Oh, let's trade. I'd like to trade with you. I have wood. Do you have sheep?
I will sell you a sheep for $200 million.
There is no money in this game. How socialist indeed. Beware of the Euros. And Citadel is a game about building cities. Now this one, you do get to rape and pillage the other cities. Or, well, maybe just pillage. Anyway. So what you have to watch out for in the invasion of the Euro games. These Euro games, they're pretty, they're easy to teach, they sneak in and all of a sudden you're playing a game. There's no player elimination. How boring is that? You go for victory points. You're about 45 minutes to play. I mean, who wants to just play a game for 45 minutes? 8 hours. That's what I look for. But, well, you'll excuse me, I have a Twilight Imperium game that I'm late for. Yeah. Well.
Ouch. Thank you for
Thank you, Dr. Scott, for your information about this invasion.